It's maximum exposure. Smoking may kill this Russian dude someday, but 10 minutes ago, he was already a dead man. Two Russian MiGs show off at an air show in England. Sean Moffat was the announcer at the show.
Here are two graceful jets, and these were beautifully painted, and they were doing a lovely, graceful display. And the MiG-29 is a beautiful airplane. I mean, it is something quite stunning to see.
Yeah, we'll show you stunning. That ain't no fender bender.
And you're not quite sure whether the pilots are alive or not. It's a big shock to the system.
But these lucky pilot dudes got out. Look at the slow-mo replay. Seconds after the crash, the pilots are somehow able to eject.
I was amazed that they both got out, particularly the number 2 aircraft, which was the one that was hit by the leader, because the leader's wing sliced through the fuselage of the number 2 aircraft just behind the cockpit. He was a very lucky man.
Very lucky dude. They make it to Earth safely. Hey, let's take another look. Now, here's what happened. The planes are performing a giant loop, but one of them does his loop tighter than the other, and boom! So, you've got one really lucky dude, and one almost really lucky dude. The pilot who got hit punched the other guy out and broke his nose. No wonder they were ticked off. Bonehead just totaled 2 planes that cost $34 million apiece. Hey, that's a whole lot of vodka. Nastravia, lucky dudes. Here's another extremely lucky dude, Ron Cook. Ron is way into the sport of motorcycle land speed racing. He's gonna try to top 200 miles an hour on his custom-made bike. Now, things are looking good. The record looks like history. Then, the bike starts acting up. Ron takes a dive but can't get free. Now he's being dragged at 175 miles an hour. Whoa, talk about buns of steel. Like a horse that's thrown its rider, Ron's bike continues on and crosses the finish line. Amazingly, Ron suffers just a few bumps and scrapes. He's pretty shaken up.
Okay. I want you to just kind of take it easy, take your feathers off, let those guys look at you.
So what's next?
Let's go back to the pit area.
Okay.
Gather myself together here.
One more time. The ride is going smoothly. Then a wobble starts in the front end of the bike, and Ron eats it big time. 5 years of racing, and this is Ron's first accident. But you can't keep a lucky dude down. Ron's fixed the problem. Or so he thinks. He gets back on his horse 2 weeks later and shoots off down the track. And then...
Rider down, everybody move.
Now in slow-mo. This time he wipes out at over 200 miles an hour. No way anybody lives through that. But Ron's a super lucky dude.
Man, there are parts flying. I hate to see what's happening in that body of mine. See, this bike's in a million pieces, and hell, I'm still in one piece.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. Ron broke his leg in 2 places and his arm in 3.
When you have accidents close to 200 miles an hour and you're still alive and it happened twice, you kind of rethink things. That's the speed where you usually aren't around to answer. And I'm here, so yeah, I think about that.
Ron cheated death twice in 2 weeks. He's lucky, all right. Yeah, but if I was him, I wouldn't push it. These are the sprint car time trials for the California Racing Association.
On the green from Torrance, California.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. But check out what happens to driver David Crowell.
Davis 6th in the consolation.
He loses it in a turn and hits the wall. And then it gets bad. Once again. As the car flips over, Dave's seatbelt gives way. The second flip, the car lands on him. A rescue team is on the scene. It looks pretty bad. But Dave gets up on his own. Hey, he's alive!
I didn't have any injuries. I really didn't feel any pain at all. Although once I was out of the car, I was afraid to move because I was afraid something was going to hurt. So I just kind of laid there until the ambulance crew took care of me. Dave's
not only lucky, he's smart. He's bagging the racing thing for good. Big night in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. You're on a date with motorcycle stud Jeff. He's the guy in yellow.
Jeff Baja, though, not letting off as he battles back on the outside.
It's only the second time you've seen him race, so you're psyched. He makes his move. And he's down.
Whoa, Jeff Baja! Jeff Baja, another bike getting tangled up into him. Wow.
So you're thinking, this is a really bad date. Your boyfriend just got run over by 500 pounds of rider and bike combined. Then you think, I better go see if he's hurt. Let's look at it again.
As soon as I came over the jump, I knew that the front end was a little low and I was going to hit the ground and it was going to hurt. I kind of just knew it was going to happen and braced for it, and I'm laying on the ground thinking everything's okay, and next thing I know, I'm getting another motorcycle on top of me.
Jeff lies there and wonders if this will get him some sympathy.
Yeah, let's give that guy a round of applause. That's Jeff Baja.
Meanwhile, girlfriend is thinking, does this date suck or what? Here's our next lucky dude. He may not look lucky, but he is. 4th of July, Ogden, Utah. Skydivers land on the field. But Ralph Butler is headed right towards the crowd. He makes a move to avoid them, then... Let's see that again. He fights the strong winds. He misses the crowd, but doesn't make it to the field. His son runs over to check him out. Ralph's taken to the hospital. He broke both his ankles, his legs, his pelvis, his nose, and his eye socket.
Well, I guess the wind had picked up. My memory isn't very good since the accident. I was having a hard time penetrating the wind, and I didn't want to land on all the people in the stands. I do remember making the decision to pull on the front risers to get out from over the people. I don't remember the landing at all. Like any sport, especially flying sports, you have to use your head, and I don't mean land on it, I mean...
Ralph may not be that funny, but he sure is one lucky dude.
Wait, stand up in front of your truck for a sec.
This cop is trying to clear this guy's wreck. When out of nowhere... Whoa, that was close. Let's take another look in slow motion. Two cars are involved. A white car slams into a dark pickup. Cindy McGregor was driving the white car.
When I was heading straight for the cop car. And I just kept praying, please don't let me hit those people. Please don't let me hit that cop car. And for some reason, I barely veered off.
Hey, let's go frame by frame. Now you see just how close these guys were to being hood ornaments. He really skies to get away from the death car.
It was within a couple inches. I didn't know how close it was till later when I pulled the tape out of the car to view it, and it was really shocked to see that it was extremely close, especially for this other gentleman.
That's the smile of an extremely lucky dude. Believe it or not, Canada is not always boring. just spent a little time with Renee and Roger Curry. They're making a documentary about their lives. Nag, nag, nag!
And I think you're gonna blame the brake fluid or the steering fluid on me too, eh?
But things do happen in Canada, and sometimes it's unboring. The boys spy a pedestrian. His name is Peter Yee. A delivery truck tears through the intersection. Somehow, Peter avoids getting squashed. Okay, we gotta see that again, eh? Peter dodges the truck, but the truck sent a car careening towards him. Peter jumps pretty high, well, for a Canadian.
Can you catch that on tape? I don't know.
Renee and Roger, check out Peter, eh?
I talked to him for a bit, and he said he was okay. He just couldn't believe that he jumped so high. He's never been so high in the air in his life.
And the vehicles.
That's the culprit. Not much damage to him.
Later, they used the tape to show who was at fault in the accident. And we think it was Canadian front page news for about a year, eh? Hey, a train! It's the latest thing in Hua Hin, Thailand. See, people there don't know from trains. Watch the left of frame. A scooter shoots in, and bam! He goes flying. No movement. Doesn't look good for him. Slower and closer. You see, he doesn't look both ways and pulls out in front of the train. He tries to turn away, but it's too late. The train slams him into a pole and knocks him unconscious. He gets a broken arm and leg and a wicked burn from his scooter's exhaust pipe. But Duzit Kung Pai Boon is alive.
Well, I was on my way to work. I was not looking left or right. I was in ICU for 7 days. I came to on the 7th day.
So just why is Duzit a lucky dude? Here's why.
But believe me or not, it might be some magic involved. Maybe spirits of those who passed away before. I believe that spirits blinded me at the time.
So even though spirits tried to kill him with their magic, he survived. Let's just call him Duzit Lucky Kung Pai Boon.